Hey everyone, welcome back. It's Stacy from My Petite Garden. I hope you're all doing well. In this video, you'll be spending a relaxing and calming morning with me doing some plant chores. This is what a typical morning looks like for me when I have some extra time to go around and see what plants need some attention. I really hope you enjoy this video, and as always, thank you guys so much for all of your support and comments that you leave me. It really means a lot to me. I always try to start the morning off with letting in the sunlight by opening up the blinds and curtains. Then I turn on the grow lights. I'm more diligent about this during the colder, darker seasons because the amount of natural light is really limited during this time. There's really nothing more beautiful than seeing the morning sun seeping into the window through the curtains and onto your plants. It's something I enjoy seeing every morning. If you guys see a bump in the bedding, that's actually my body pillow. I started sleeping with it during my pregnancy and I just can't seem to bring myself to not sleep with it anymore, but I feel like I really should kind of slowly wean myself off of it. Every time I go into my son's nursery and see this philodendron lichens hanging there by the window, it makes me smile. I just love seeing it hanging there and almost acting like a curtain in itself. Before we continue with our plant chores for the morning, we're taking a quick breakfast break and we're having quite a heavy breakfast this day. This prosciutto flatbread from Trader Joe's is really tasty and I highly recommend it. My son's currently having a moment with typing on keyboards after I was holding him one day and I was working and he saw me typing and he's been intrigued since then and he loves typing or banging really on it. Throughout this video, just a little forewarning, you will be hearing a lot of commotion in the background, mostly my son, sometimes maybe my husband with my son, so I hope you guys don't mind and I do apologize in advance. Here he is again with his keyboard. Well, it's actually mine, but I gave it to him to play with, supervised, of course. And I noticed he's more into adult things than his own baby toys recently. He's very curious about the utensils that we use and just things that we do with objects. Another task that I want to tackle today is switching out the stand for my Schefflera tree. I want to move it onto a lower stool because I think it looks better just slightly lowered. Next, I'll be repotting this jar of random Hoya cuttings that I had rooting in water. Most of these were actually leafless vines that I chopped off because you guys know how unruly those Hoya vines can get. So I decided to cut some of them and see if they would root or do anything at all. And some of them actually rooted and started producing leaves. So now I decided it's time to finally pot them up. I will be potting them all up together into a medley pot or frankenpot of Hoya cuttings, and quite honestly, I really don't remember what type of Hoya most of these are anymore. Here I'm just spending some time separating out the different cuttings, checking to make sure that they have roots, and if they don't, I'm just going to put them back in water, and I'm going to be cutting off any dead parts from the cuttings as well. And just for people who don't know, Hoyas do excrete a white milky sap when you cut into the stems. or if you break the stems, and some people do have allergic reactions to it. So I like to play it safe and wear gloves when I know I'm going to be cutting Hoyas. So you can see here this last cutting has 4 leaves on it, and it's like one long cutting. The bottom is rooted, but I didn't really want just one long vine, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this up into smaller pieces so I can have like a small bushier plant. So I'm gonna stick all of this back into water after I cut it up. I honestly have no expectation for these cuttings. I was just experimenting and having fun with it. I just thought it'd be really interesting to see if the cuttings with no leaves on it, if they would do anything, and I'm excited to see what would happen to this pot of just random cuttings from vine. So hopefully I'll give you guys an update sometime in the future. Next, I just have to clean up a couple of my succulent arrangements, and it's mainly just cleaning off some dried leaves and just make sure everything still looks nice and tidy. With succulents, especially echeverias, I find that using long tweezers really help make things a lot easier when it comes to cleaning up dried leaves, because it can really get into those tight spaces where dried leaves are usually hiding, and it just makes it a lot easier to pull them out without breaking them. I actually really enjoy watching people clean their succulent leaves. I mean, like pulling out the dry leaves. I don't know why I find it so therapeutic, and doing it myself was actually pretty satisfying and therapeutic as well. But I love watching videos where people do that, and I wish there were more of those around. This is the second pot of succulent arrangement that I need to clean up. The long stalky plants that you see are the Echeveria raindrops, and on the underside of these succulents, it always has an accumulation of dried leaves, and you need to clean them off in order to make it look tidy. So I'm going to be doing that, and you'll see here I'm also cleaning up some dead leaves from my moonshine crassula. Last task that I want to tackle is cleaning off these brown tips on my Hupersia squarosa, or tassel fern. I honestly have been neglecting this plant for quite some time now, and recently I decided to finally put it back into a terrarium, and hopefully that will stop the tips from browning with a little bit more humidity. Alright, that is all the plant chores I'll be doing in this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye!